Hi guys, Alan Taddy here from TDI Media, and I'm here to make an announcement about a new service we're about to launch and offer moving forward. I'm thinking this is going to be the ultimate media package for karting, but of course any other sort of short circuit events that might be held on ovals like autographs, speedway, things like rallycross maybe, even things like show jumping, boxing, anything indoors, because I like working indoors. If you're watching this in Dubai, by the way, I also like the heat, so you can get in touch if this appeals to you. So what is the new service? Well, without any further delay, let's tell you what it is. It's Livestream Plus. So what is Livestream Plus? Well, think of it in this way. It's basically what we've been doing for the last 10 years in post-production with a live stream at the front end of it. So you could call it post-production plus, but we're calling it Livestream Plus because that sort of relates to what it is. So how does it work? So basically what we're going to do is this. We've looked at the various options. Some of you will know we've done a couple of live stream events already, one at Hooton Park, very successful, decent viewing figures, and at Wigan last year as well for the club meeting there, again really decent viewing figures. I want to thank loads of you who gave me compliments for my commentary. It's not that great. I'm not the best live commentator. I'm no Jake Sanson when it comes to that. Here's the thing, talking about Jake Sanson, how does this work? So basically what we're going to do is live stream, and then after the live stream is over, we'll do a live stream with a commentator on the day. Now it may be me, it may be Jake, but not likely. In a live stream situation, most likely I will be out there flying a drone. We will set up probably it could be one man camera, it could be two man cameras plus statics. So it's likely to be two man cameras plus one or two statics to go with it. So somewhere like Wilton Mill, for example, Alpha Live tend to film that with two manned, one guy up in Christmas, one on the balcony, and a static covering the start finish line. And that suffices for that circuit. That's great, works perfectly well. There's a great 4G there as well, of course. So it will be generally a couple of man cameras and one or two statics. However, at the same time, we'll also be putting out, I mean, we did Rowra the other week. In fact, we've done it a few times this year already. I've done it in various ways, but the Super One event was covered with two manned cameras and 7 static cameras plus the drone. So Livestream Plus is planned to work like this. We will have a couple of manned, maybe one or two statics, maybe another 4 or 5 statics that won't be rigged up with aerials, but they will be recording on the day, plus the drone if weather conditions suffice. There will be a commentator doing a live commentary, so we'll do a typical sort of live stream that you currently see. However, after the event, the plus bit is this. Think about what we've been doing with Super One for years, the sort of graphics that we do, the drone coverage, the amount of static cameras we have covering certain corners to get those nice sort of close-up shots. That is basically what we'll be doing after the live stream. So we will take the live cut and then we will enhance it with additional cameras, graphics, additional graphics, the drone if possible. Of course, depends on certain circuits, well, mainly weather these days. IKR tends to be fine, we can fly anywhere. MSA events, it just depends on what their view is. And then we will do, Jake Sanson and myself, that's where Jake comes in, a fresh commentary track. So it doesn't matter who the commentator is, even if Jake is the commentator on the day, we may even sit down and look at doing a fresh commentary track after the event. It's always easier to do commentary in post than it is live. And listen, we all have haters, but I think most of you love what Jake does. I certainly do. So the plan is to take what we've done and then do a complete fresh, have a complete fresh look at it, a fresh edit, a fresh commentary track with all the graphics added in the drone. We can fly the drone and do that live. We've tested it, it works. However, the thing about, if you look at the stuff that we've done recently, for example, if you look at some of the shots, we're showing you them now, what you're seeing in a post-production edit is the best of the drone footage. There's plenty of times when I'm having to stop, reset, reframe, refocus, do all sorts of things that can look quite ugly. If you try and cover a shot, you think you're going to get a shot, you think you're going to cover something, fly at 50 miles an hour. Live, sometimes it doesn't quite come out as you want, and in a post-production edit, of course, you just throw that away. You just forget that, think that's rubbish, not using that. But here's a great bit, and that's a bit we use. So our plan is to try and fly, you know, a drone at the events, and then edit the drone footage in afterwards, as indeed we would be with the graphics. It could include chroma keys, if we've got chroma keys, Super 1 for example, where we have, and the additional cameras. So we may on the day film, as I say, it's likely to be 2 manned and 1 or 2 statics at most circuits for the live stream, just to give you guys, basically I'm trying to give you guys what you've been asking for ages. So I've been listening to what people are saying, and I'm gonna, you know what my view is on live streaming. The views are never what they are in post-production. So I've looked at that and thought, well, how can we change that? And the way I think we change it on the YouTube channel that we have, which is currently sitting at 87,560 subscribers, is we do a live stream so that those of you, and I know, listen, if I was racing today with my son's mum hardly ever came to the events to watch. She only ever came twice, I think. She would love to sit at home, watch it. So I'd probably be with you guys. I'd probably be saying, live stream, live stream, live stream. So been listening to that, but I've been looking at, you know, how can we add to that? So I've come up with the service we're calling Livestream Plus, which is to live stream the basic live stream on the day, cover the race events, cover it with a commentator. It can be a basic live stream edit. There'll be some graphics in it. We might have an overlay if that's available. But if not, doesn't really matter, because after the event, I'm going to take it home. You can watch it on the day. After the event, we're going to take it, download all the footage and re-edit the live cut, adding in the extra cameras from the angles that we've got. That, you know, if you have sort of, as Raura, we had 7 cameras, you're not going to have 7 cameras on a live stream, fixed static cameras, but you can put them out and edit them afterwards. And let me explain what that does. People, the difference between live stream and post-production. I don't want this to go on and on and on, but I think this is important. Martin, I know you're complaining already because it's already gone too long. The difference between live stream and post-production is, in a live stream it's difficult sometimes to come off a battle. If you've got 5 or 6 battling for the lead, difficult to come off that battle. Guys at Alpha Live will tell you that. If you're the one directing, you don't want to come off that battle and miss the overtake for the lead, or miss somebody overtaking 4th to 2nd or 3rd to 1st, or somebody going 4th to 1st, as we've seen. It's difficult to come off that battle. In post-production, it's easier, because what you can do is you can look at what's happening over the next lap, and then in the edit say, okay, so there's not going to be an overtake there. Might be an overtake for 6th to 5th, but there's a nice little battle for 14th to 20th to 6th in that battle. And we'll use the statics to pick up, going from one camera to the next camera to the next camera. And we did that really successfully in two cases recently. One at Raura in the Super 1. That worked out pretty well. But more so at Wigan. We literally went, me and my colleague, to Wigan, just set up 2 normal cameras, no drone. But we had, I think it was 6 static cameras set up on the day, covering various parts of the circuit. And the beauty about it was that I was able to, that was just, wasn't live, it was just a post-production edit. But in the post-production edit for the NKF, which has done more views than the Motorsport UK footage did on the same weekend, that's partly because of the size of the YouTube channel that we're promoting it on. I was able to cover a lot of the field in the 3 races that we covered.
Going up the inside for a spot. Is that a spot made up? It is. Leo Robinson makes the move. Aidan Neat goes with him, and that drops Mason Rudman back from 3rd to 5th. And that battling has allowed Ella Stevens to get that much closer. She went through the line. She was 0.6 behind. She's not 0.6 behind the man in front of her now. It's Phillips, Clark, Robinson, Neat and Rudman, and that's the 53 of Bradbury just going up the inside. There he is on the 53, just behind the 19 of Jay Holtby, and they are 1st and 2nd now in the NKF class. Just saw Charlie Hart go through his shot as well. He started P8, he was down at 14th, but made up 3 places on the last lap.
It's not always easy to do. You know, if you've got 6-7 people battling for the lead, we had this at Super 1, really. There was 8 in Mini Rock, for example, really nose to tail battling. It's difficult to come off and look at other things. I think we did that successfully a couple of times, but it's always difficult when they are battling and they are changing. You know, every few corners there's changes in position. Can be difficult to do, but in post-production it's easier to do, more difficult in a live stream. So what I'm hoping I'm going to offer you guys is what you've been asking for, live stream plus all the stuff that TDI Media have been doing for years with the graphics, the drone, the additional camera angles, editing all that back in, which takes a huge amount of time to download and edit in. Plus, of course, I think the important thing is me and Jake then redoing the commentary. More Jake being involved in it, because I know you guys love Jake, mainly, a few haters, but me and Jake then redoing the commentary, and we're able to do that because I'd love to have Jake at all the live streams, but let's be honest, he's a world traveller these days. There was a time he'd never travelled abroad for any sort of work whatsoever. Those were a few years ago. You know, when he started with Super 1, his reputation has grown and grown and grown, rightly so, but he makes everything sound exciting. So by doing this, what we're doing is we're doing the live stream. Now we'll do the live stream with a live commentator, whoever that is. That may be somebody that's supplied by the organisers. And then afterwards, you've got the live stream with the commentary, and then you've got me and Jake redoing the commentary with all the other graphics, drone footage and everything else, all the other camera angles added in. So that's it. When are we going to start this, I hear you ask? Well, we are seeking some, I don't think this is going to happen, but we're seeking some potential sponsorship for the NKF meeting at GYG this week. Somebody's asked me about that. Somebody suggested there may be somebody prepared to fund it. If that's the case, we will be doing NKF at GYG this week. If we're not doing that, subject to me speaking to John and John wanting us to do it at Glannygorse for Super 1, then because we've got the crew there anyway, although the costs are more because of the way we've structured it, we need software engineer and a vision mixer, for example, plus live commentary. Subject to John being happy for us to do it, if he wants us to do it at Glannygorse the following week for Super 1. And hopefully, I've seen some of the comments, you guys, from the Rotax classes. Listen, anything we can do, I've already offered to put extra trophies on, and Ferrari watch, we get grid of 15 or more. By doing this, maybe you guys look at it and go, you know what, be nice to be involved in what could be, if we don't do NKF this week, and even if we do, it'd be nice for you guys to think, you know what, it's a live stream so people can watch us racing live. Then there's going to be the re-edit as well. And why is that important? Well, I've been very vocal about, for example, things like the 4G. Now we've got a system, we've got a live streaming studio built into the van. We've had that for about a year. We've done 2 live streams, very successful. We have in the van a 4G system which has multiple commercial SIMs. So we've got various companies, EE, O2, comes into a system where the 4G system we've got within the van with aerials, if 4G is available, it will grab it, and it will grab the strongest signal. If O2 failed, for example, it would, I say instantly, it would go to EE and it would pick up the EE 4G signal and recover it. It may mean that the signal, the feed breaks down and then we have to relaunch it. But that's always an issue. It's been an issue for Alpha Live. I'm sure those guys will tell you that, a nightmare at the Shellington Super Prix. Generally it works okay for them. I know Coolfab tried to do a live stream last week for the first time. On the Saturday it worked, and Lester will tell you on the Sunday, for some reason, I've not spoken to Lester, but some reason on the Sunday, woke up on Sunday morning, 4G wasn't playing ball, and they had an absolute nightmare with it. So that's always been one of my issues, the stress of that and not working. You go and do a job, you turn up, and then for some reason the 4G fails. Alpha Live do not control the 4G. We don't control the 4G. Motorsport Media don't. Anybody doing live streaming does not control the 4G, and we are subject to that 4G signal and how strong it is. The system we have is as strong as it can be. If it's there, we will grab it. Our system that we've got is absolute world-class system. So if the 4G is there, we'll grab it. If it fails under one, if it fails on the O2, it will switch over to the EE. It may turn off, so we may have to turn it back on. But we've got as much of a chance of getting it as anybody else. However, here's the thing about the Plus service. Does it matter? Yeah, it does, because you want to watch it live. But if we have a constant failure, as we've seen at some of the other events, Super Prix last year, for example, it means that afterwards we're re-editing it anyway. So we're doing what we've always done. Now, our plan at the moment is if you film all day, as Alpha Live sometimes do, sometimes they just film the finals. If you film all day, it means pretty much you've got to be there 2 days. That dramatically affects costs. You've got to have at least me and my colleague there setting it up. And if you're filming all day, you've got to get up at, if we were filming at Clay Pigeon, for example, we'd be having to get up at 1:30 in the morning to travel to get there and be there on site for 6 o'clock, make sure everything's set up for everything started. So our plan is this. Our plan is to film from sort of lunchtime-ish onwards, which may mean in some cases we pick up pre-final and final. In some cases it may mean we do, if it's an event where you've got heats and finals, we may pick up the last heat in maybe in some of the classes and then the finals. But certainly the plan is to live stream the finals plus other bits if possible when they start, but live stream the finals and then post-produce the finals afterwards. So the post bit, the plus bit afterwards will always be just the finals, but it may be in the live stream we pick up some things after lunchtime. So long as we're set up, ready to go, commentators ready, we may well, film some of the heats or maybe the pre-finals as well. That's the plan. It's live stream plus. We're interested in doing all sorts of things around the country at various locations. If you're a club interested in this sort of service, then get in touch with me. If you've got any questions about it, if you want to ask about costs, it can depend on location. So private message me or phone me. So my phone number is I'll put my phone number on the screen now. It's on the screen now. So call me on this number if you want to discuss it. Don't text me because I hate texting, to be honest. My fingers are just too fat for texting. Call me if you want to discuss it, if you want to chat about your location, if you've got a particular event coming up. We're trying to keep the cost as competitive as possible. The costs are actually more expensive for a live stream than obviously just doing post-production. The time in post-production is in the edit. In this case, we're actually doing both. So, but we're trying to keep it as competitive as we possibly can. Let me know what you think, guys. We've listened to what people are saying. I know that, as parents, you want your grandparents and your aunts and uncles to watch it at home. And my argument has always been that the viewing figures, and I could bring you I'm not going to bring viewing figures up, but we've screen grabbed viewing figures as they've been on screen. It will show you how many people are watching. If you look at the number of people that are watching live and then who watch after the event, it's there's always more people actually watch it after the event than have watched it live. And here's the thing, what we will be doing is, in the post-production side of things, we're obviously post-producing those finals and we're uploading them into individual race parts. And by doing that, that makes it very easy. Within a playlist, they'll all be uploaded into individual races. We have 6 races, for example. There'll be the 6 races. They'll be in a playlist on YouTube, so it's easier for you to find the playlist and then find the race you want, click on it, and that's it. Won't be a 4-hour clip. It won't be, in the case of, you know, some events, an 8 or 10-hour clip. Nobody wants to click on a 10-hour clip and try and find their race, even if you've got heats and finals. So that's the way we've looked at it. It's the way I've looked at it. Thought, what service can we offer moving forward? So whether it's in karting, it could be show jumping, rallycross, autograss would be perfect for something like this. Speedway, any circuit that's small, you've got those sort of other, any sort of oval racing is perfect for it. So if you're involved in any of those avenues of motorsport, get in touch. We still just do the post-production. We will not, this is not us saying that every single thing we do in future will be live streamed. It's not us saying that. It's saying this is a service we can offer. If we do live stream, we want it to be live stream plus. Certain things we do may be that we carry on with Super One just in post-production, because we know that's the highest quality that it can possibly be. You cannot beat a post-production edit for quality. It's as simple as that. As great as the stuff that Alpha Live have done over the years, you can't beat the post-production quality. It's as simple as that. I'm sure those guys, being genuine, would agree. It's just a different sort of thing. So what we're saying is the Livestream Plus service will be what we've been doing for years, but we'll live stream it at the same time, giving you guys hopefully what you want. Put your comments in below, guys. I don't think there's anything else. I think that for me it's going to be the ultimate media package. We'd like to do more club meetings with this sort of thing, that maybe they're doing it will to mill, but add in the plus bit of side of the service. It's likely to be of interest to clubs, but obviously there's got to be it's got to be funded somehow. So it would mean drivers ultimately probably paying more, unless you can get sponsors in locally. And we know there's lots of wealthy people in the sport. If someone wants to come forward and say, well, I run at such and such a circuit and I'd be prepared to pay for it every week, you know, every month, for example, there's 10 meetings, what would it cost? Get in touch with me and we'll give you a cost. We'll try and work with you within the sort of reasonable budget that you've got, but you know, at the end of the day, there's a certain level that we have to achieve to make it sensible. That's it, guys. If you want to get in touch with me, please do so. Phone number's on screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Make your comments below if you've got any questions, apart from the cost of stuff. If you need that, then get in touch, because it does depend on locations and logistics, number of cameras needed, and so on and so forth. But any sort of basic question you've got, if you've got a comment, try and keep it positive. If you've got a negative comment, just explain. If you're a hater, just explain why you hate the idea. If you love it, then say you love it, and you know, click the like button. The more likes we get, the more loves we get. You know, it encourages us to sort of carry on and do what we're planning on doing. As I say, we won't live stream every single event, but where we can offer that service and people want it and we can get it funded, then we will. So this is Alan Tuddie at TDI Medium signing off for now. Make your comments. See you soon.